This is From Under the Apron, and we are back with another brand spanking new way of introducing you to my co-host. If I'm Daryl Hall, then this guy is certainly my John Oates. Michael, welcome back, my good buddy.
Hey, what's up?
Let's pop that Zoa open. What are you drinking tonight?
Rockstar Mandarin Orange.
Rockstar Mandarin Orange. I got the Zoa Wild Orange. We're living it up tonight, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so we are giving the Lexus bus a break this week. It kind of broke down a little bit last week. We forgot to change the oil. We forgot to give it new gas. It's still working on Lex Luger mode, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know, premature win and everything.
Yeah, gas too early.
Yeah, gas too early, celebrated too early, when there was no need for celebration. So no SummerSlam until possibly next week, which will be SummerSlam 1992, and then we don't know what we're going to do after that. So I'm going to pick next week. The week after that is Michael, and then we're going to alternate again. Hopefully we don't get another request from our dear old friend, Nick.
Hopefully we
do. We like him? All right.
Yeah,
hey, Nick Opalewski, come to the Patreon page, please. Let us know. Talk to us there, buddy. Come on. Just let us know you want a request there, okay? It's all good. So instead we're doing another segment of backdrops and backlots. Hey, let's bring that one back, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Where we watch TV shows about wrestling related content and give our reviews on them. This week I happened to come across the Heels Season 2 trailer. A lot of people are back. One in particular, a certain Chicago-made wrestler who loves muffins with a dog named Larry. Of course, CM Punk is back. And alongside him, he brought in someone, a good person. I decided, let's share the wealth, share the spotlight, bring his wife along. AJ Mendez joins the show as El Dorado. I also seen Amy Raver Lampman, who plays Allison Hargreaves on the Netflix series Umbrella Academy, joined the show, and she is one of the scenes with AJ. So I can't wait to see what Allison Hargreaves from Umbrella Academy, she can wrestle or she's taking bumps. That'd be great. Also, I believe she was on the Hamilton cast as a backup dancer.
Oh, wow.
She was somewhere in there.
Okay.
I honestly could go on and on about the trailer, and maybe I will do a separate episode on that. But it got me thinking we need to go back to reviewing the last season. So we're doing just that. We are going to get through episode 3 of the first season of Heels. Before we begin, as always, follow us on our socials and support us from Under the Apron on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube, apron_stories on the Twitter. More info on the links where you can listen to or watch in the show notes. Make sure to rate us and leave us a review. If you feel you want to do a little more, support us on the Patreon, become a top-tier patron, and I will shout you out at the end of every episode. Brothers, go to patreon.com/From Under the Apron podcast for more information on that. The link will be in the show notes. All right, so the last time I did an episode on Heels, I made up a new rating system. Did you get to hear that episode?
I haven't heard it.
All right, well, we love doing ratings around here, as the whole videotapes out of videotapes, all that stuff. So we're going to give this show a number rating of heels. 5 for the ultimate heel. It means it has heat. It's all anybody can talk about. It was an awesome episode. 4 is a heel. It means it's doing its job as a heel, but it needs that extra oomph, I guess you could say. 3 is a face. Cheer for it, but it needed something. It needs work. It's not over yet. 2 is a baby face. It was good, but you wish the episode needed something more, but it will grow on you. 1 is stone cold. You know exactly what that means. It dwells between good and bad. Anti-hero. And A 0, the ultimate humiliation. 0 is green. You don't want to be in the green, which in wrestling terms means that it feels new. Makes a few mistakes here and there, but wouldn't recommend to anyone to watch it. You know how those green wrestlers are? They're usually in dark matches. Yeah. And then we get to tell you what we saw of the episode overall and pick our favorite scene. So are you ready for that, Michael?
I'm ready.
All right. Episode 3 aired August 29th, 2021. It's called Cheap Heat. Cheap Heat is when a heel gets the crowd to boo by insulting someone that the crowd presumably loves, such as the local sports team. The opposite holds true as well to get the crowd to cheer a babyface. Example is Dwayne Johnson would say, "Finally, The Rock has come back," and then you insert a name of the current city he is in. This is called a cheap pop. Louder to cheer, louder to pop. They'd be like, "Finally, The Rock has come back to Chicago." He would definitely make sure to like extend that Chicago, the accent. The episode was directed by Jessica Lowry, whose past credits include 1 episode of Doom Patrol and 19 episodes of Mad Men. The writers of this episode are Michael Waldron, Bradley Paul, and Daria Paladin. Synopsis of the show: in an event to drum up more heat for DWL, Jack enlists the help of popular wrestling veteran Ricky Rabies. That's a fun name. Yeah. He intends to set up Ace with a full house for his comeback in the main event with newcomer Bobby Pinn. Meanwhile, Rooster Rollins is questioning his worth in DWL with a championship belt, and so is Jack's wife, Stacy, who wants to get away from all the wrestling drama. So I told you about the beginning of the episode, what it's like to warn you before. You saw the warning come up on the show at the beginning. The show opens up with Tom Spade, so you immediately know it's a flashback. I kind of skipped the intro for this the first time, so I didn't see the trigger warning at the beginning of the episode. Episode 2 starts off with a recap of episode 1, so I figured episode 3 would be the same thing. So this whole thing took me by surprise the first time around. I wasn't expecting the show to right off the bat show you the unaliving of Tom Spade. I figured we would have an episode where he would mentor his kids or the backstory and all of this. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. So second time around watching it, I was prepared for it. Unlike 13 Reasons Why, they didn't take out the part. I know the reason why Netflix did it and supported it because when I watched that 13 Reasons episode where Hannah Baker does her thing, I couldn't bear to watch this little girl do this to herself. But here is a different story. This is a grown man going through a bunch of stuff in his head. He has a family he loves, he has a company to run, and he's out saying hi to all the neighbors on this possibly daily morning run. So there will be talk about not just mental health, but men's mental health in general, right?
Yep.
Tom Spade, played by David James Elliott, who starred as Harmon Rab Jr. on the hit TV series Jag for 10 seasons. That's like 90s show right there. He's been in other shows, but it's like that's the only show I can remember. Okay, yeah, I know who the show's about. He gets home and drinks water from the hose, looks around at his yard, and decides to do some choring of his own. He mows the lawn with his motor lawnmower. Jack probably got him a good deal on that. He finishes that and hammers some nails on his wife's garden. He finishes his work and looks around his yard and sees a deer. He goes inside the house to his room to grab a gun from the toolbox, but you also see Ace in his room sleeping as Tom walks out of his room. Tom goes outside and, as you think he's about to shoot the deer, he turns the gun on himself. A loud bang is heard. Ace walks out with a blanket over his head, wondering what is going on. And as he stares out into the front porch, he sees his dad laying there. Before he could even scream, the show starts with its theme music. Yeah, that was rough to watch that, man. It's like, damn. It's like, this is why I wanted to wait till July to come up, because June wasn't a good idea for me to watch it in June. Just because it's like, you know what? I'm taking a break from mental health, and then I see this part. I was like, nah, never mind.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's a heavy one.
It's a very happy episode. So I was like, okay. So let me tell you what happens when the show finally opens up. The show opens up at a strip club. Right away, tits and ass all over the screen. Like, hey, you just saw somebody dying. Here's tits and ass.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. It's like, oh, depressing. Oh, cool, tits and ass. Great. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you for all of that. And like, not only that, but the woman directed it. Yeah, hey, thanks for that. Because we really appreciate tits and ass when we're depressed. Bobby Pin is working there as a bouncer. He's off to the side calling his folks to tell him the good news that he made it to the main event of the wrestling show he is in. And we see the flyer with him taking on a Spade in the main event. He is interrupted by the stripper who got slapped in the ass by a woman who was nearby and drinking. Bobby kicks her out of the bar, even though she still wants to apologize. I've never laid hands on a stripper. Have you?
No.
No. Like,
no.
Do we care to decline to answer, or like, are we still?
No, I've never been. I've never even been to one.
Oh well, but we're gonna have yeah. Time to call up the boys. Bobby being the bouncer was nothing if this was real. Not only would you be escorted out, but a beatdown would happen there, buddy. Yeah, like this is why I don't touch them. Then all the bouncers are there. They're gonna kick your ass. They're not gonna. They're not gonna escort you out. They're gonna kick your ass.
No, yeah, they're nothing worse than getting a beat down.
Oh my god, yeah. Nothing worse than getting a beat down when you got a boner. Put that on a shirt. Next scene, Jack Spade talking on the phone with one Ricky Rabies, who is played by AEW wrestler, the legendary CM Punk. My guy, portraying an old legendary Southern wrestler with a mullet.
Oh, wow.
Man has a mullet. He is ready. Southern accent and everything. CM Punk looks the part. Jack asks Ricky what is his estimated time of arrival, and Ricky tells him he is about a few seconds from Splashtown. You can tell the guy's in the toilet taking a shit, and that's basically what the Splashtown meant. Yeah, I'm about a few seconds from Splashtown, buddy. Jack thanks Ricky for coming in on short notice to a venue where a whole lot of folks already bought a whole bunch of tickets. The energy and entertainment that Ricky brings is what the town and the league needs tonight. Oh, Ricky says that it's coming. He's bringing the Rabivity, brother. And he said it just like that. He's bringing the Rabivity, brother. The mouth foaming, blood gurgling, wild man ass kicking Rabivity, brother. Before Jack worries more, Ricky says that it's more fun blood and not devil blood, and he will explain it to all to Jack when he sees him, and follows that up with the sound of the flush of the toilet. Son of a bitch. Ricky apologizes and says he thought he had him on mute for that one. Sorry there, pal. Thought I had you on mute. So fucking relatable. I feel, forgot to put someone. We've all been there. Forget somebody put people on mute, flush the toilet, and then you hear like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Oh shit, sorry, man." Oh yeah, we've been through that before. Jack tells him it's fine, drive safe, and they'll see each other when he gets there. Jack hangs up the phone and arrives at the dome, where he meets up with one of the staff members to hand her a box. What's in this box? Pray tell, it's a mystery. Next scene, we see the roster. Yeah, we see the roster working out. Willie is stopped by another staff, Debbie, who has a box full of sweatshirts that are 100% soft Pima cotton. Willie questions if she gave Debbie a purchase order on those sweatshirts. Debbie says yes. Willie asks what time of the day it was. Debbie says it was late. She was tired. Willie says, okay, fuck it. Before Willie walks away, Debbie tells her that Eddie Girl is looking for her. Willie yells out, fuck, in frustration, walking away, leaving Debbie behind with a box full of sweatshirts. Rooster comes up from behind Debbie and tells her she's doing a great job and walks away. Debbie smiles, says thanks, and she loves Rooster's cape. Debbie is played by Marsha Devani, who played Arlene in the 2004 13 going on 30 movie, plus she was also on 5 episodes of Orange is the New Black as Kathy. I don't remember Kathy. I remember Arlene. That movie was a fucking fun-ass movie. Supposedly Welly was high when, or she was tired, high and tired when Debbie gave it a purchase order and everything.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Dawn.
And if you've ever watched a TV show and thought to yourself, oh my god, that season finale plot twist was absolutely bonkers.
Or seen a movie and thought, wow, I need to talk to somebody about this train wreck immediately.
Then we think you'll fit right in with our podcast, I Hate It, Let's Watch It. We watch TV shows like Riverdale and Emily in Paris.
And movies like Deep Water, Killer Sofa, Rubber, and Deadly Illusions. And we give them the total rinsing they deserve.
It's basically group therapy for movie masochists. So come check us out wherever you stream podcasts.
The next scene is Ace practicing his promo in the mirror and in front of Crystal, his valet/girlfriend, or as one have you believe. He does the dewy puppy dog eyes and says, "You know me. You know who I am. You know I'm someone you can believe in. And I let you down. Last time I was in this ring, I lost. But it wasn't losing the match that hurt the most. It was losing y'all. It was losing Pat's heart. Y'all." Crystal nods her head up and down and continues. "I was betrayed by my brother. How many of y'all been betrayed by someone you trust? Did the right thing. Played by the rules. Busted your tail. And the person with power double-crossed you? What do you do after? You got back up. You wiped away your tears and you kept on fighting. Because that's what Duffy folks do. They fight. That's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. Because what happened to me in the last match isn't the end of my story. Oh no, it's only the beginning." He looks at the mirror, looks at Crystal, and asks how tight was that. She said, "It's tight. Yeah, it's tight." But it's a little too positive, maybe. Ace says, "No, it's some deep blue hero shit." Crystal says that hearing it out loud, she wonders if it would be more interesting to take a different angle. And she's right. It sounded a lot of corny. Like, I'm sitting there like, I let y'all down, man. It's like, I don't want to let y'all down anymore, especially in that accent. God. Anyway, he's begging for the fans to take him back, even though he cried in the middle of the ring, and then he punched his brother out. So he is like, he has his puppy dog eyes, all this stuff, and he's like trying to tell the fans, like, look, take me back, please, all this, and like, you guys don't understand. I was betrayed by my brother. That's why I cried, because I was, and like, how many of y'all been betrayed by someone you trust like that? Like, have we all been betrayed by someone you trust like that? You're doing the betraying. Jack yells that he wouldn't change a thing, approaches his brother and tells Crystal to give him a few moments. Jack checks in on Ace, and Ace tells him that he's working on the promo and references the fact that Jack went off script. He tells Jack that he loves it and he has a few ideas. Thoughts, to be exact. He can't come up with the ideas, because then Jack would be like, nah, you're changing my ideas. Like, all right, then I have a few thoughts, like where you can put this and this. So, like, instead of saying he wiped away his tears, he can say something like chugged a beer, And also at the end, he says this is only the beginning. He should say, because good always triumphs over evil. Jack says, but it doesn't. Like, no, good doesn't always triumph over evil.
Doesn't.
And Jack tells Ace that if he changes the line in the script, it's going to land false with the crowd because they know it's bullshit. Ace believes it, but Jack says, no, it's not true. Evil got a fuck ton in the trophy case. As he stares at the trophies he's held himself. He's the evil one. He has a fucking fuck ton of trophies. Like, I'm evil, dude. What are you doing? Like, evil does not triumph over... Like, evil triumphs over good. Basically, is what he's trying to say. And Ace, to land that, again, he says, in the end, good triumphed over evil. Okay, you motherfucker. So, he will do his thing and beat Bobby's ass in the main event. Jack says, so that everyone knows that Ace is back. Ace says that he never went anywhere anyways. Willie interrupts and tells Jack that Eddie Earl's there to see him, and he is in Jack's office. Jack tells Ace that he wants to apologize for how things went down in the match. Ace doesn't want to talk about it, but Jack continues anyways. He says that he knows it's everyone's dream to go up north and make it big, but there's more than one way in life to make it in wrestling. And he doesn't think that Ace realizes what it's like to rely on a corporation to make his living. Ace could spend years in development, and then they just let him go because he's a pawn out there. In the WL, what they're building, because of Ace, he is not a pawn. He can be a partner, and he can keep being a big star. Jack tells Ace he doesn't need them. So he's basically telling his brother that he's in the company business. He can't go anywhere. He can't do like a corporation, because then you're like you'll sell out. You're a WWE person. You're an AEW person. All that shit.
Yeah.
Next scene is Willie getting a drunk dial from Wild Bill. You can see him. You can hear him talking hella shit in the background. She hangs up on him, and Jack meets up with her to talk about the crowd tickling in on walk-ins and tailgating parties. Jack tells Willie Ricky Rabies was expensive, but is going to hold out until the main event to watch Ace versus Bobby. Willie, she says she's not entirely sure if folks want to see Ace do anything after they seen him cry in the ring. Jack says he didn't make anyone do anything, but has asked if anyone's talking about them on the internet because that would be a good thing. He says people are going to come into the dome, and if they're over the age of 12, then they already know it's predetermined. The matches are predetermined. He says we know that they know, and they know we know that they know. So when Ace admits that our ending wasn't part of the story, it becomes part of the story. It makes it kayfabe, and they get to trust back. They leave to meet up with Mr. and Mrs. Eddie and Annie Earl, who are in the office watching Rooster wrestle in the ring. Eddie apologizes to Jack before the match and says he knows his banner was missing in verse from Revelation that he has sent over. Jack says he will get that fixed right away. Willie tells Earl that she wants them to know that dedication of spreading the good word of the Lord while also promoting the business is also very much appreciated. Their business being a pawn shop owned by Eddie Earl. Eddie Earl suggests to Jack that it wants to expand the brand's profile as associated with Eddie's business. He might consider that with Tom Spade. Doing what Tom Spade did, which was do a commercial for them. Jack remembers the commercial all too well, and Eddie makes him sing the jingle for it. Oh, so humiliating for Jack. Also, I love the fact that now we're talking about God after a suicide and tits and ass scene.
It's usually
Great job, guys. really love this show, by the way. Next scene. No, I'm not shitting on the show. It's just I love it. I just thought there was a suicide, and there was tits and ass. Oh, well, we're here. Let's talk about God. Okay, cool. Next scene, Stacey Spade meets up with her girlfriends, Whitney, Courtney, and Kate, respectively played by Ryan Redmond, Danielle Gross, and Katie Carpenter. Whitney, played by Ryan, is set to star in the live adaptation of Borderlands, the video game directed by Eli Roth. It will play the character of Ellie. So, live action Borderlands, by the way. So, can't wait for that. Stacey's excited to meet up with the girls, but feels bad she didn't meet up with them in that girls trip in Savannah. Whitney tells Stacey that they were all drunk for that trip. In fact, they still are. They all go inside the restaurant they met up at, and Stacey notices their friends already started pre-gaming without her. Basically give Stacey something to do while she's not in the entire show at all. It's like, hey, here, have fun with your girlfriends. Cool. And speaking of pregame, the next thing is said in the locker room, Bobby Penn notices a bottle of Smirnoff Ice next to him, and Diego tells him he's been iced. Meaning now Bobby has to go down on one knee and chug the bottle down. Wasn't this a game back in our years where, I don't know, was it a game?
What is it?
Wasn't it a game that we used to play back in our years where we'd have to beer somebody?
That might have been after me.
I know there was a game where like we saw a car driving not towards our lane, but on the other side, driving our side with one headlight. We'd hit each other on the arm and say, "Beer me,"
Okay.
and we'd have to buy them a beer.
I don't know. That might have been after my time.
Yeah, it was around there, 2000s. Around, I want to say around there.
Okay. Well, I moved in '99 though.
Okay, so yeah, so around there, like we would always do that shit, like beer me, and
Okay.
like, what the fuck? It'd be like slug bug, but not slug bug. It'd
So,
be
yeah.
like a car driving up, and then one headlight, and if you noticed at first, you hit all your friends, you're all gonna beer me. It's the same right here. It's like if you see a bottle of Smirnoff Ice, you get to pick it
Okay.
up, you drink it. So they made him Bobby chug down the bottle. It's called Main Event Ice. Outside the locker room before he walks in, Ace hears the commotion going on and stays going inside with the rest of the boys. There's still some animosity, I believe, between him and them. I don't know. He feels embarrassed because of what happened on episode 1. He got screwed over in real life by his own brother. He punched out his brother and then left. Like, didn't want to talk to anybody in the second episode when his best friend's wife gave birth, and the rest of the boys were there just hanging out. So he's a little, like, all right, I'm here, but I don't want to talk to y'all. Crystal walks up behind him and tells Ace the boys are cool. They didn't say anything at the hospital, and they're not going to start now. What happened, happened. Ace tells Crystal he got this and not to worry as he opens the door, walks in, and Diego presents him with a bottle of Smirnoff Main Event Ice. The rest of the boys chant Ace's name as he gets down on one knee and chugs the whole bottle of ice down. Rooster walks into the locker room with a bad attitude and all upset that Bobby Pin is getting the main event match and not him. Rooster tells the whole locker room that pretty boy over there, referring to Ace, is wrestling a new guy who just last week had to be taught how to do an elbow drop by his valet. Bobby, who was standing next to Ace, says that Rooster even said, "Good job, Texas." Rooster tells Bobby that one lucky elbow drop does not earn him an invitation to the main event. It's true. You gotta earn your way up there, man. But what's done is done. Ace gets in front of Bobby and walks in front of Rooster's face to ask him, "Hey man, what's your problem?" Rooster smirks, touches Ace's boots that are hanging around his neck, and tells him they're not even scuff. Not a scuff on them, man. What is that? Before anything can even start between them, Diego opens the door to the locker room and tells everyone Ricky Rabies just got there. Everybody's all, yeah, Ricky
The
Rabies.
man of the hour.
Man of the hour, CM Punk. Next scene is in Jack's office. Ace walks in with Crystal, and they are introduced to Ricky Rabies, who introduces them to his son Wolfgang and his valet Vicky, both played by Stone Garcia and Bunny Somerville. The latter played Mona on Friends. For those Friends fans that are here, that are listening, she played Mona. I don't know who that is, but all right. I don't remember it. Ricky tells Ace, I don't know, it's like Mona. Who the fuck was Mona? Apparently, she was Ross's girlfriend at the time, somewhere around there. Around season 8 or 9, one of those seasons. So if y'all remember it, good on you.
Yeah.
Ricky tells Ace he walks just like his father. Ace accepts the compliment, tells Ricky they are grateful to have him, and he has a great draw when they were kids. Ricky laughs and mocks the whole "when they were kids" comment and says, "Don't make him feel any older than he already is." Yeah, feel that. Like I used to watch you when we were kids, man. Like, what? Like, you're my mom's favorite wrestler at the time. Fuck that. That sucks. Ace says he wants to borrow Jack for a few moments. Ricky says it's all good. They just need a sink so that Vicky can make the blood. Jack reminds Ricky he doesn't want any dystopian or Charlie Gully influence on his show. Ricky explains to Jack and Ace that he knows DWL is all about family entertainment, but you know what you get when you get the Rabies family in there. He isn't much of a bleeder himself anyway, so he won't be bleeding per se, but it's more of a component of a new entrance the Rabies family been workshopping. One that incorporates the Rabies frolic and festivities that everyone knows and loves, but also allows Wolfgang to participate in the experience. Wolfgang tells his dad he's real appreciative. Ricky continues with the blood to him, makes what he's doing about his family because the blood connects us, binds us, and defines us. Vicky says it's about getting the crowd stoked for Rabies Nation, and then she proceeds to do this wolf howl, calling the Stoke Ravitti the Stoke, 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 Stoke. What the hell? Stoke the Ravitti, Stoke. Ricky says think less bloodletting and more blood unifying, like a sacrament. Wolfgang explains that what his dad does is always a theatrical manifestation of his character. So basically, he's entertainment. Because, WWE.
Man,
Pretty much. Jack directs Vicky to the sink in the prop room, and the Rabies family leave the office to a pissed off Ace, wondering why there are people out there with Ricky Rabies' t-shirt on when it's supposed to be his night, but Jack is wrestling Ricky Rabies. Forget what's on the poster that looks like the main event. Jack is again in the main event. Jack tells Ace about Ricky's age and say he can't go anymore. Ricky is not a main event guy anymore. He's an opening act, a draw that brings people to the door. They're here for him, but they will see Ace shine and they will come back for Ace. He tells Ace to focus on his promo, make them cheer for him, or boo. Jack just has to trust him. Before Ace leaves, he asks Jack what it means when his boots aren't scuffed. Jack tells him it means that they're a bad partner in the ring. Don't be. Oh, fucking Rooster calling him out, saying he's a bad partner.
well, drama time.
Drama times, like, your boots aren't even scuffed.
Means
You was that?
that it means he doesn't use them.
True. Next scene, Stacy finished dinner with her friends as well as catching up. The waiter comes down to drop the check and tells them the apps are on the house. He serves Stacy and Jack on their anniversary, and right now it's an honor to be serving Jack Spade's wife. A little creepy there, but the waiter seems to think he's going to get something out of this, apparently. Like, yay, you're Jack Spade's wife. I love you, Jack. Oh my gosh. Such a little nerdy guy. He explains to Stacy that he tried getting the night off to go to the wrestling show, but couldn't, so he asked Stacy if there was a way she could reveal secrets and tell him if Jack was going to screw someone else over. He's a mark. He's a mini mark, but still. Tell me your secrets, ma'am. Tell me your husband's secrets. Like, what the fuck, dude? She don't know. Stacy's friends seem surprised that she didn't mention the wrestling to them. Stacy tells her friends that there's a wrestling show in town tonight, but it's kind of rinky-dink. They assumed that it was only Tom Spade's thing, but Stacy explains to them that Jack took over to help the business going. It's been a tough year. Whitney says they're going to the show. Next scene is at the Dome where the show is taking place. A match between two indie wrestlers. Danny Flamingo in pink and black tights being pinned by Chuck Divine. I had to look them up. Eddie Earl's at ringside enjoying the show. Back in the locker room, though, Rooster's on their urinal when he gets pranked by Bobby and tells him he got iced. Rooster looks down. He's pissing on the bottle. Bobby says, no, you have to. Oh, okay, I'll get it for you. And then grabs a tissue, picks up the bottle with the tissue, tries to wash it off in the sink. But Rooster's, dude, we fucking wash our hands here. Go somewhere else. Put it over there. Rooster stops him, and he says, like, it's ice, man, it's ice. And Rooster tells him, like, it's main event ice. Does it look like I'm in the main event? Bobby walks away. Apocalypse says Rooster is being too rough on the kid. It's not his fault. Rooster says it's his fault that Bobby is dumb as a bag of dicks. Diego tells Rooster that's gender shaming. Dicks aren't predestined to be dumb, but it's more appropriate to say that it's willful idiocy of certain specific dumbasses attached to an individual dick that makes the dick dumb. What? Apocalypse tells Rooster it's not Bobby's fault he got picked to wrestle Ace. So instead of being a total asshole to Bobby for no reason, he could do what Pac already told him, and that is go talk to Jack. Frustrated, Rooster explains to Pac that Jack is not sitting or standing anytime or anywhere where it appears that he is available for anything like talking. Rooster is told to ask Willie to schedule it, but Rooster says he could just use a push. Diego says, yeah, well, he's going to need more than just a push from this shit he's about to take, so everyone's going to need to clear out. And he goes to take a big-ass shit. Diego walks into the stall, but Rooster and Pac leave the area. Oh, man. So Rooster wants a push. Bobby Pin is new. He got the main event. Rooster got basically said no. They said no to Rooster. Now Rooster's pissed off, so he's just gonna take it out on everybody.
Yeah.
What is up? This is Fuck It, Let's Talk with your host, Christine. Monthly, I'll be here to discuss the ups and woes of parenting and explore topics with other parents, or not parents, in hopes of finding a little sanity. Just a warning, the keyword here is puke. Eventually you'll get it. So come join me where we explore honest takes on parenting and life. Don't forget to follow on Spotify or subscribe wherever else the podcast is available. Be sure to check out the polls on Anchor, where you can also show some support if it tickles your fancy. And if you want more, head on over to the newsletter, F It Let's Talk on WordPress. I look forward to chatting with you. Fuck it. Let's talk.
Next scene, we see Ricky Rabies showing Crystal how to do blood. Added a little sugar to what looks like corn syrup. Same blood they used in Carrie for it to be like pig's blood. Vicky explains to Crystal that she's been with Ricky for so long she has a few tricks up her sleeve. She also tells her what a Valet's job is figuring out what her man needs. The man wants to feel like you're there for them. Shoulder rub, human touch, a feminine caress. This isn't exactly a female-friendly industry, but if you hit your cart to the right horse, the rest is going to take care of itself. Vicky tells Crystal she's been with Ricky since she was about Crystal's age, around her 20s. She tells her if she treats her man right, he'll be hers forever. And there is no telling where he will take her. Crystal leaves and meets up with Ace, who is trying to rub oil on himself. She takes the oil from him and rubs him on his back and neck. He takes one look at her and tries to fix her corset, and then says, let's go win him back. Crystal has that annoyed look on her face. She was expecting a thank you out of him, but he didn't say anything, so she follows him to the gorilla position. Next, we see Stacy and her friends show up at the dome trying to get seats. One of them says they want to be able to touch the wrestler and for Stacy to throw her weight around. She's practically the first lady of this place. They sit down, the camera pans over to their entrance, while Run to the Lightning by Coincident Minor is playing over the speakers. Ace and Crystal both walk out to some of the audience members booing. Back in Gorilla, Jack is standing next to Willie watching what's about to go down in the ring when Rooster quietly asks Jack if they could talk. Rooster obviously wants to talk about his position in the company and possible main event, but Jack tells Rooster to wait till later to talk. He wants to focus on this first. Annoyed by this, Rooster looks at Pac like he's about to say, I told you so. Back at ringside, Ace hops into the ring while Crystal rolls underneath the ropes. Stacy's friend Courtney asks why they are booing Ace, and Stacy tells him it's Jack's brother. It's complicated. Heather says Ace was the ring bearer at the wedding, and now he's like Thor. Like Dirty Thor.
Oh, wow.
Again, gotta bring up the fact that Ace, played by Alexander Ludwig, is on a show called Vikings and plays Jorn Ragnarsson. You already knew that. Good. But yeah, that's the reason why he looks like Thor, because he's on Vikings. Like, he has to look like Thor.
Yeah, still look like
Definitely. Crystal hands Ace the mic as his theme music finishes. Ace begins to tell the crowd the monologue promo word for word that he was practicing earlier on. Same wording, but he's yelling it out to the crowd, and he's yelling it out, but the crowd is not falling for it, so they continue to boo, even holding a cardboard cutout of Ace's face with watery tears coming out of his eyes. He finishes the promo and the heckler is yelling "crybaby" at him. You're a crybaby, crybaby, cry. Damn. Ace looks around the small arena wondering where it's coming from, and the heckler's coming from the rafters, still calling him a crybaby. She says, "What's the matter? You're gonna cry, crybaby?" She then throws a packet of baby tissue wipes in the ring, which lands next to Ace. Everyone in the back is concerned by this. Willie gets a phone call from Wild Bill again, and she sends it to voicemail this time. Ace continues saying they are putting him against the new guy from Texas, Bobby Penn. Ace says it doesn't matter. He'll kick his ass and take on anyone in the locker room until Jack is the only one left standing. Make it known that he doesn't mind starting over again, but he will come after his dad's belt. That serious little moment of his turned into an awkward situation, and when another heckler from the front row decided to throw a pack of baby tissue wipes at Ace's face, which got the whole crowd riled up laughing. This in turn got every little kid and parent to stand up and throw baby tissue wipes at him in the ring and chanting "crybaby" at him. It's almost as if, hey, let's throw a chair in the ring. When that whole Public Enemy versus Terry Funk and Mick Foley happened, and they all threw chairs in the ring. Remember that?
ECW?
Yeah, ECW. That's how
Yeah.
this looked, with just baby wipes being thrown at him. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh shit.
He's lucky it was just baby wipes.
Right? Lucky they're just baby wipes and not like chairs or other stuff being thrown at him. This annoys Jack in the back, who looks pissed off, trying to make Ace a face again, but it's not working. Back in the ring, Ace tries to end the promo with what he told Jack earlier. Good always triumphs over evil, even though they're still throwing the wipes at him and yelling "crybaby" in front of Stacy, who's embarrassed that her friends are watching this display as well. Ace walks out of the ring, and they try to send Bobby Penn out to intercept and continue to be in the ring, but it's too late. Ace gets to the backstage and starts throwing a tantrum, yelling at Jack for the misdirection. All the boys in that locker room watch as Ace is having a meltdown again. Jack tries to calm Ace down, telling him that as long as he's out there, there's no difference between hate and love as long as they're doing something. Ace tells Jack that he's okay with people hating him because he comes naturally for him. Both Pac and Rooster stare at each other with that eye roll, like, see, I told you so. Like, Rooster's all like, I knew it. Jack tells Ace he was out there in the ring doing amateur hour because he doesn't understand the difference between cheering and booing and generating heat. Generating heat is an effing job. He then tells him that Ace would make a great heel. What is wrong with him? Ace pushes Jack back and tells him he's the heel. Ace is the face. And Dad was the face. And right there lies the problem. Ace wants to be just like his father, even though the last episode, Jack told us what happened, what kind of man he was. He would always beat up on his little kid. Ace wants to be respected by everyone just like his father was in the ring, not outside the ring, as Jack started to tell Ace that yes, their dad was a face, a nice guy, a real nice fucking guy who knew that Ace was home. Jack walks away, leaving Ace still more upset. Basically, like he was a fucking asshole towards Ace.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh shit, now I don't feel bad. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's mental health. But still, like, he beat up on his son. He still had work to do. Told his wife she can't work. And then he's happy, smiling, walking around, running around the entire town, coming home, doing work, choring. And then he sees a deer in his fucking yard, just hanging out there. And he says, all right, I'm done with this. And takes his life away. The fucking deer triggered him. Like, what the hell, dude? That's crazy. You just don't know what triggers you, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Like, something could be messed up. And that right there is what got him. Like, hopefully in season 2, they're not going to do it in this season, but in season 2, hopefully they like bring up the fact that it's like mental health and all this shit. But I love that they talked about it here. What do you think?
Yeah, it's good that it's not just wrestling, but they're adding
drama.
Yeah. But even things that might help people in real life, too.
Yeah, most definitely. Back in the ring, the crowd's enjoying a match between Diego Cottonmouth and Apocalypse. Stacy's friends are still drunk as fuck, enjoying the match and screaming their asses off. Backstage, Ace is frustrated throwing stuff around the little room that he just found. Crystal finds him, closes the door behind her, and just like Vicky says, do whatever a man wants her to do. He sees them set, so the only way to relieve this is to have some sex in the backstage area. It's like a 30-second clip of them having it out on the table. She gets dressed, kisses him, and walks away. This might have relieved some tension on him. Backstage area, Jack's office, though. Vicky's trying to get Ricky ready for his match. Oh, this is the best part right here. Jack enters the room and Ricky tells him to finish with the reverse DDT. Last time he got put into a sharpshooter, he almost shit himself and couldn't walk straight for 3 weeks. Jack laughed and said they should finish with a reverse DDT. Poop joke number 1 by the guy who really did shit himself in the ring. Kind of ironic I mention it now because it's been 10 years since it happened. If you know, then you know. But for those new that never knew this, December 13, 2013 of SmackDown, CM Punk versus Jon Moxley, who at the time went by Dean Ambrose. It happened right as the match ended. The referee does the 3 count and didn't realize he just slapped on some poop. It's on the WWE Network, most definitely. December 13th, 2013. Punk went to Twitter. Just shit my britches on SmackDown, please, RT. Punk thought this was funny, and according to him, both Vince and Dean Ambrose also laughed about this, but then management told him to take the tweet down because they didn't like the use of the shit. He deleted the tweet and later posted another one saying, this poop just ain't fun anymore. He later also blocked WWE on Twitter. While these can be really embarrassing for wrestlers, in Punk's case, this wasn't even his fault. In 2014, he got released on his wedding day. After he got released on his wedding day, he went on Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast and revealed that after he got concussed during a match against Luke Harper earlier in the year, a WWE doctor asked him if he had a concussion and could he work the European tour, which Punk said agreed to. Although he later regretted this decision, saying, I probably shouldn't have. He was he was dry heaving after matches, sometimes even puking, because he had lost his appetite and wouldn't eat anything. Punk also couldn't sleep or train at that time, so he went to the doctor again and they gave him a Z-Pack, which is an antibiotic. They gave him so much of Z-Pack that Punk ended up pooping his pants during the Ambrose match. So that's the reason. Quote, Doc is giving me, Doc's like, oh, you're sick, here's a Z-Pack. They Z-Packed me to death so much that in December I shit my pants on a SmackDown because that's what antibiotics do to you, right? End quote. After this incident, the doctor gave him another antibiotic which was even more stronger than Z-Pack. Punk took it thinking it'll fix things, but it didn't. Instead, he got diarrhea for 3 weeks.
Oof.
That must suck. Punk then went to another doctor and found out he had an MRSA infection and said he could have died. Shortly after, he found out that he had been suspended for 2 months and later fired on his wedding day. WWE told him he breached his contract on January 27th, the day he walked out, so they wouldn't give him his royalties and he was not allowed to sign with UFC. Punk later made a settlement with WWE. Punk had also mentioned Dr. Chris Amon a few times in Colt Cabana's podcast, which led to Amon filing a defamation lawsuit against both wrestlers, which they eventually won in 2018. So that's the whole reason why he will never come back to WWE.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the poop story right there. And that's poop joke number 1. There will be more poop jokes in the later season. So I'll have to listen to those.
Movies and feelings. Pop, pop. Bring Your Own Popcorn is a podcast that dives into people and the movies who love them. Let us preach to your choir or stoke your ire as we spiral down memory lane with cult classics, Jurassics, and other genres that rhyme with traffic. What we lack in education, we make up for with comedy, compassion, and camaraderie. I'm your host, Mixtape Majesty, inviting you to join me and an assortment of wonderful guests on fine podcast apps everywhere. Bring your own popcorn.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Back to the show. Ricky tells Jack these days between his neck, his back, and his legs, it's quicker to tell him what it doesn't hurt. Relatable. What doesn't hurt are my ankles. Ricky says that underneath that skin is a war raging in the body, and it's a melee of bone and bile, flesh and fever. Every organ taking shots at the next guy, and he's watching from the cheap seats, hurting like hell. But hell, what can you do? Is he going to get a job to support his wrestling habit? Nope. He just keeps on fighting like the fight. It's a living. Jack just smiles and nods. Yeah, sure, okay, there, buddy. Whatever you say. Doesn't give a fuck. You're just like, can we just get to business, bro? He's a business guy. He doesn't care. Ricky asks Jack if all is cool with baby brother. Jack says baby brother needs some time to cool down. He then tells Ricky he has some things to take care of first, and as he walks away, Ricky tells Jack he is helping put food on his table, brother. Again with the brother. He just wants to bring that brother in. Hey, you're helping put food on the table, brother. They super appreciate the booking. Thank you. Jack says Ricky is saving his ass and walks out. But his work is not done. He is walking down the hall and is stopped by Rooster, who wanted to talk to him for a minute. Here comes the Rooster moment. Jack says he has to give the main event spot to Bobby. He understands what Rooster is thinking. It doesn't make any sense. Bobby's a nobody. And that's the reason he needed him tonight, because he needed someone who could be whatever Jack needed him to be to get Ace back on track. He then tells Rooster he has personality. Rooster smirks. Jack continues. He has natural grace, raw talent. He's the best guy they have in WL. It's almost as if Rooster heard this so many times in his life already. And he just was like, all right, whatever you say. But Rooster says if he's the best, then he should get a shot at the belt. Jack says yes, when it makes sense for the storyline, and walks away. That is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now you're telling us your whole company is storyline based and not wrestling based, talent based.
Yeah, I got into this show.
What's that?
I have to get more into this show.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into it.
So basically, your company is Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
And it's basically a storyline driven show instead of just talent, like WWE or AEW. And he's telling Rooster, it's like, yeah, dude, sorry. Like, maybe some other time. Right now. Back at ringside, Stacy's third friend, Kate, is showing the girls her vacation pics from Mexico City, basically showing off her swag, how much money she has, and all that shit. What's that?
I was saying that's what it's all about.
It is interrupted by the lights going out, and Stacy recognizes the music as she tries to get the girls to go with her to get beers. But Courtney asks if that's Jack coming out with the belt. She didn't want the girls to oogle on Jack, I bet. Like, hey, yep, it's my husband coming out. Hey, let's go get some beer. Wait a minute. Like, oh, shit. Jack enters the ring, and Stacy's friend's jaws are on the floor. Jack asks for a mic. He begins by telling the crowd to shut their mouth for a second and learn something. Jack asks Stacy if he's a bad guy, and Heather says he's so damn hot. Jack continues his promo and says he was in the back and heard the runt of litter whining and crying because he got hit by the biggest and baddest card in the deck. Bars, man, bars. We're using the deck of cards double entendre here. I love that. Jack Spade, Ace Spade, and then his dad was Tom Spade. All right. He says that when Ace is out here whining and fell on receptive ears because it's how y'all talk to your wives, husband, and lose your kids. He changes his voice to mock. He hurt my feelings. He hurt my feelings. You damn right I did. You don't get to go home happy. He should be thankful that I didn't break his neck right in the middle of this here ring. I love that when he's talking normal, he's not a fucking redneck, southern accent. But when he's out there as Jack Spade, hey y'all, like it's like put in that southern drawl some more. Like y'all are gonna hate. You're all gonna hate me and shit. We're from Atlanta though, The crowd continues to boo. I'm fired up now. Oh no. I think Jack Spade's gonna whoop a little ass tonight. So I'm fired up now. I think Jack Spade's gonna whoop a little ass tonight. So if there's any boys in the back, any of y'all, if you think you have the stones, come on out here and challenge me for this strap. I dare you. The crowd is chanting Ricky Rabies, and that's when the fog machine begins to work. Detroit Rock City by Kiss is playing on the speakers. Backstage, we see the Rabies family working. Wolfgang is wearing a raccoon hat and operates a remote-controlled drone that looks like a dead possum. The drone flies all over the arena while Ricky and Vicky come out from the back. Ricky raves at the fans, and while Vicky pulls out a dead rubber mice from her bucket and throws that out at the fans, the drone zips in a ring and it almost hits Jack, who yells that Ricky doesn't belong in Duffy. Finally, the drone stops right in front of Jack, who is staring face to face at a dead possum. Ricky signals his son. The possum spits out blood that splatters all over Jack's face.
Oh.
Yeah. There's fucking rabies blood and shit. The match starts, and Ricky slams Jack's face first on the turnbuckle. Jack eventually gets away from Ricky and wipes some blood on his face on the referee's shirt. They go outside. Jack takes a red cup from Eddie Earl's hand and drinks it. Vicky helps Ricky in beating up Jack. They go back in the ring, continue to have a match. Backstage, Pac looks at his phone and shares it with Diego, who are laughing their asses off. I wonder what they're laughing about. Ace goes outside for some fresh air and get out of the fucking place. Rooster's out there also and tells Ace to watch the video Pac just sent him, which is of Wild Bill on a plane, naked, with a championship belt covering his lower half, shouting that he's a superstar. Who does that remind you of?
Ooh, that reminds me.
Oh, yeah. What?
I mean, recent or earlier?
Earlier and recent.
I feel like now it sounds more like Trish.
And naked with a championship belt?
Say
on
it
a
again?
plane? Naked on a plane with a championship belt.
Oh shit! Is
Covering
that
his lower half? Is that who?
was that Flair?
Yes.
Yeah.
They are so putting the Flair thing out here. Tell you what, if you're gonna watch the 4th episode, don't watch it with the kids.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, they start off with what's happening here. Rooster screams. Oh shit. What? Spoiler alert. Anyway, Rooster screams and laughs and says that he got Wild Bill's autograph at the varsity way back then. He says he remembers the first time he saw Wild Bill wrestle was at the old Omni in Atlanta right before he left DWL. He explains to Ace that he started out young, but he's been dreaming of being in the ring ever since. At the age of 16, he was part of the EGL, then the Cobb County, then the AGA. He's been all over Georgia in every single indie league. Ace asked if the league just folded or if he got fired. Rooster says he was loved by everybody. Athletic is what they said. Some raw talent. Fucking hell. He's basically heard it all And earlier, Jack told him the same thing he's been hearing since he was 16. He says personality can only get you so far. You see that championship belt? It only really stands out against a white backdrop. He was a prodigy. Now he's a vet. Still no belt. He is quiet for a moment that says he didn't know what made him think it would be different when Jack took over. Oh, man. And like the entire time he's trying to talk to Jack, and Jack says, pushing him away. No, not right now. No. And then he tells him what he already been hearing since age 16. You're a prodigy, you're an athletic, you're some raw talent, but you're not white. Basically what he's telling him. Fucking hell.
Well, I mean,
basically doing what every other company's been doing to.
Yeah.
Ace says, "Fuck Jack." Here he is, a total face, and Jack says, "No, you gotta be a heel now. It's bullshit." Rooster laughs and tells Ace he's hilarious, but one thing Jack is right about is about Ace becoming a heel. Him as a face, that dog won't hunt. Not now. Ace cried in the ring. You can't come back from that, basically. Back in the match, Ricky jumps from the second turnbuckle onto Jack, which blew out his knee. Fucking old man.
Hey, don't talk about old man.
Yes, that can happen, or just tear both quads during a match, or just by walking or jumping. It happens. We've all seen it happen live or on TV.
15 seconds or less.
16 seconds or less. Oh, fucking hell. Jack tells Ricky that's not good and they should go home, meaning it's time to end the match. Jack does the reverse DDT, pins, and uses the rope for leverage to win the match. Jack gets back up and goes backstage where Bobby Pin is doing push-ups and all the other boys in the locker room watching the Wild Bill video that went viral. Jack goes all the way to his office looking for Ace because he's on in 2 minutes. Willie intercepts Jack and tells him she can't find him, and neither can Crystal. They get back to gorilla position. Bobby's still doing the push-ups. They tell him to stop. Jack says go in the ring and he will come out himself. Willie tells Jack he can't go out again. Jack says he will if they can't find Ace. He asks if they can cue Bobby's music, and Bobby says it's a rap he wrote.
God.
Willie says she can't unhear it, and neither can we. So here it is.
Oh, gee.
Bobby, 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 Bobby Pin. Bobby, 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 Bobby Pin. Bobby Pin's gonna pin you. Bobby Pin's gonna spin you. Gonna sin you. Gonna win you. Gonna pin you. Bobby Pin. Cause my pin ain't your pin. And your pin ain't my pin. But my pin's gonna win. Cause I'm from Texas. Bobby, 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 Bobby Pin.
No, thanks.
No thanks. I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking putting that on. Jack says, cue it up. Just do it. Just fucking do it already.
Yeah.
He tells Bobby not to look nervous. He's fine. He'll do all the work, carry him throughout the whole thing. It's going to be great. He pushes Bobby and lets him go to the ring. He screams, asking why he can't anything go as planned around here. Willie assures him he can't do 2 matches in a row. He's not young anymore. And finally, Ace appears. Jack asks if he's okay. Ace smirks and asks Jack if he's afraid Ace is going to go off script. Ooh, fuck. Maybe. Jack and Ace have a stare down. Jack says to cue Ace's music and run to the lightning plays again. This time Ace runs to the ring without displaying any affection to the fans, hops into the ring, and both Bobby and Ace lock up, and Ace whispers to Bobby to shut up and follow his lead. Ace pushes Bobby into the corner of the ring, throws a few punches to his stomach, kicks him while he's on the ground. Running headlock Bulldog onto the mat. Ace lifts up Bobby by his hair and hits a DDT for the pin, but Ace lifts Bobby up at the 2 count, saying he's not done with him just yet. Heel Ace is about to come out. Ace goes to the top rope, and Crystal's a bit worried, but continues to root for her man. Ace jumps from the top rope, misses an elbow drop, Bobby gets back up, hits a leg drop, and follows it with a few kicks on Ace. Bobby lets Ace get up and follow him as he tries to grab the referee, but Ace hits Bobby with a low blow cheap shot. Ooh, that's a heel move. Backstage, Stacy and her friends are in gorilla position with everyone else watching the match and questioning the donkey kick to the ball's legality. Stacy says no, it's an illegal move and a cheap shot. Still, she can't believe that Ace just turned heel. Crystal throws a baby tissue pack at Ace, who unpacks it and wipes Bobby's mouth with it. After he hits a super kick and does a Hogan pose with the hand on the ears, telling the crowd he can't hear them as they continue to boo louder. Ace finally covers Bobby for the 3 count, and he celebrates in the ring with Crystal. He looks pissed at the crowd and starts yelling. And he yells, "If there's a fire, I did it. If there's an earthquake, I did it." He points at everyone and tells them they don't know what they got coming for them. Backstage, Rooster has seen enough and walks away from the rest of the crew. Bobby, Crystal, and Ace walks backstage to a chorus of cheers and applause from the rest of the boys. Jack says what Ace did was terrific. Crystal's excited for what just happened and hugs Ace, but he pushes her away and yells at her that he's not her boyfriend. How clear can he be? Ooh. Jack gets in Ace's face and asks what the problem is. Willie is standing behind Jack, and Ace yells at her too, asking if she has something to say. Go ahead, bitch. Whoa, hey, what the fuck? Jack takes him to the back area of a room while everyone else stares in disgust at Ace, including Stacy, who thought that was a bad idea. I mean, that's embarrassing too. She's still with her friends, and the friends are just like, whoa there. Jack asks Ace what the hell is wrong with him. Ace says this is what Jack wanted. He's a heel now. And they all walk away from each other. We see the show ending and the crowd leaving to the merch stand buying t-shirts and other stuff. The staff is breaking down the ring and the janitors are cleaning the mess. Back in the office, Willie is counting the money and says they did good. Ricky was the right guy to bring in. Jack sneezes and Willie throws a pack of tissue right at him. The same tissues that the crowd was throwing at Ace. Jack says it was the right move, and Ace is going to know that in time. So I've heard of crowd planting, where people are there in the crowd to heckle just for the storyline purpose, to get others from the crowd going. But this was more like prop planting, right?
Yeah.
Like the crowd were eventually told to throw the pack of baby tissue wipes at Ace, and this was Jack's doing, because that box that he had on earlier to give to the other staff members was full of baby wipes. So even though he told Ace last episode he wasn't going to let anyone boo him, here he is doing everything in his power to make sure people boo him and get Ace aggravated with it. So Jack orchestrated this. Outside, we see Diego marking out over Ricky Rabies, asking for an autograph for himself on the shirt that he's wearing. Ricky smiles and does it. Crystal walks outside and Vicky hugs her, saying she had a psychic feeling about her and she's going to do big things. Ricky yells at Wolfgang and Vicky, saying they have 7 hours till Charlotte, and he told Betty he'd be home before morning. Crystal asks who Betty is. Ricky says is his wife. Crystal looks back at Vicky, who awkwardly tells her that's not all relationships are conventional. Vicky is a rat. Vicky is a wrestling rat. Okay, for those that don't know, wrestling rat is what rock stars would call
like a groupie.
A groupie, there you go. So Vicky was a wrestling rat, and she met up with Ricky, and then they did this. She became his valet. So Crystal looks at him, at Ricky, like, what the fuck? Like, wait a minute, huh? So yeah, for those that didn't know. Before she leaves, she tells Crystal not to let what Ace said bother her. Men can be emotional sometimes. Here's some real advice. Tuna for lunch, gummy bears for dinner. That's how she stays skinny, and Crystal needs to stay skinny. Sure. Damn, even fucking God. So we go with suicide, we go with tits and ass, we go with all that, and then we go with, hey, lose some weight.
A lot.
That's a lot for one episode.
Yeah.
Vicky walks away to the car and Krista watches him drive off as well. Stacy's friend, they say goodbye to each other and tell Stacy she has a cool life. Rooster gets in the car and awkwardly feels around his seat to take out a bottle of Smirnoff Ice. He laughs and turns to the passenger side where Bobby gives him a thumbs up. Rooster says he's driving. Bobby says drink it when he gets home and send him a video so he knows he did it. Rooster laughs and says thanks. We see a shot of the janitors closing the doors and the lights in the dome turn off. Next scene, we see Willie driving down the road when she notices Wild Bill hanging out. She stops the car and is annoyed by him walking up and saying he fucked up pretty bad. Oh, you think so? Dude was doing a real-life rendition of Ric Flair and exposing himself on the plane. Those two calls from him to Willie, the first one was the audio of Wild Bill yelling on the plane, and the second one, which probably went straight to voicemail, was Wild Bill asking for help. He might have gotten arrested after they landed. And the next episode, that is true. Next shot is of Bobby Pin on top of the water tower, the same water tower we saw in episode 1, where Jim Kitchen told Jack he was retiring to spend more time with his wife and kid. Bobby's on the phone with his parents telling them the good news about earlier that night in the main event. He tells them he did really good and it was amazing. He thanks them for being the greatest parents, for supporting him and loving him, and he can't wait for them to come out and see him perform. He's proud of himself and them, and I'm proud of Bobby. Also, we just got to work on that entrance music. He says he loves them a lot and he can't wait to see them. Call him back when they can. He hangs up the phone and extends his hands out to yell a big, loud, woo! Next, we see Jack and his wife driving home. He's happy that his wife had fun with her friends earlier in the night. She asked him if he had ever heard of Machu Picchu, which Kate alluded to earlier when she was showing the rest of her friends the pictures of where she was at in Mexico and then Peru. Jack says, "It's this mountain in Argentina, right?" Stacy corrects him and tells him it's a mountain in Peru, and she wants to go. She wants all of them to go. Jack lets out a scoff as if he's annoyed that his wife is asking for something already. He says, okay. Stacy asks when can we go? Jack says he doesn't know. Stacy asks if they can go next month. Thomas can stay with his grandmother and they have vacation days. Jack asks if they have money for something like that. The disconnection between them is happening right before our eyes. Stacy quits with all the excuses, money, work, Thomas, the dome. Jack gets home, turns off the car, and tells Stacy she's the one that's been on him about the money. Stacy says that's fair, but there's so much work. The lawn shop, or the dome, or Thomas and school, and Jack's fear of flying. Jack asks Stacy why she is picking a fight. Stacy says only Jack would take. I would like to go on vacation as her picking a fight. Stacy gets out of the car, rapidly walks to the front porch. Jack stops her and explains the DWO is hanging by a thread, and it will hang by less than that if he goes on vacation. He asks her if she understands how exhausted he is. Stacy says yes, because he tells her all the time. Jack tells Stacy if DWO is a problem for her, then don't come to the shows. Ooh. Stacy says she has to come to the shows because it's their whole life. Jack says he doesn't understand what her problem was tonight. She came to the show, had some drink with her friends, and everyone had a good time. Stacy agrees with it, but then says that's her friends got to leave. Carol, Jack's mom, walks outside and yells at them, wondering if she was going to let Thomas live with her. They both go inside Carol's house, and Jack is staring at the living room. We see a shot of Ace sitting at the cemetery in front of his dad's tombstone, drinking a beer, enjoying it. Final shot is of Jack walking outside to the front porch in the same spot where his dad shot himself and can barely touch the wood because it hurts him as he cries. The scene turns to black. Two things that I got out of those scenes. Jack realizing that his dad meant to the DWO because now he has to operate under the same mentality. He now understands how his dad's mental health was, worrying about the DWO and his family. And Ace not remembering how bad his dad was to him and Jack, but more remembering how he was loved in the ring and he wants to be just like him, not like how Jack wants him to be. And now his wife wants him to do this, so he has more on his plate to add. basically what happens in real life when like you're trying to do stuff for your family and all that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Before I forget, if you're going through something, please talk to someone. It's okay not to be okay. The fact that they did this episode, he seemed happy at the beginning, but then he was triggered by a deer in his backyard. He was going through a lot mentally, so please have a support system ready. I have one. I know Michael can always text me and call me if he ever needed anything. I know I can do the same back. I will have the number and other help resources in the show notes.
That's
Right.
right.
That's right. Yes.
He is one good one.
Yes, sir. All right, so now we're going to rate this episode because I absolutely loved it. Again, it was good. 5 for the ultimate heel. It means it has heat. It's all anybody can talk about. It was an awesome episode. 4 is a heel. It means it's doing a job. It's a heel, but it needs an extra oomph. 3 is a face. You'll cheer for it, but it needs something. It needs work. It's not over yet. 2 is a baby face. It was good, but you wish the episode needed something more, but it will grow on you. 1 is stone cold. You know exactly what that means. It dwells between good and bad. The anti-hero. And 0, the ultimate humiliation, 0 is green, which in wrestling terms means that it feels new. Makes a few mistakes here and there, but wouldn't recommend anyone to watch it. Kind of like a dark match. So what do you think? What are you giving it?
Only because I know it's just going to keep getting better. I'll have to give it a 4.
Oh, so 4. It's a heel. I'm giving it a 5. It talked about everything, basically. You got the mental health issue, and then you got tits and ass. Right after that.
Well, yeah.
Like, here's tits and ass. And it was directed by a woman. So, like, hey, here's something to cry about, but then here's something to cheer about. But then at the end, more crying. So, yeah, most definitely give it a 5. What did you think of the episode?
I mean, like you said, it had basically everything in it. I mean, you can't go wrong. I think it gives a it shows what they're able to do, and that it's not a one-dimensional show. It's not just for wrestling fans. I think anybody can get something out of the show.
Yes.
I think it's a good show of its versatility.
Yes. I love that.
Great writers.
Great writers. Also, the 3 great writers. We got top 3 favorite scenes. I don't see tits and ass.
Wow.
Bobby screaming at the end of the night. Woo! Telling his parents
The wrestling was really
proud.
good.
And the wrestling, the wrestling was pretty good. Ricky Rabies, CM Punk, of course. His whole thing. Love that shit. Yeah, that's about it, man. Just fucking awesome episode tonight. That's going to do it for the show. Follow us on our socials and support us from Under the Apron on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. Apron_stories on the Twitter. More info on the links where you can listen or watch on the show notes. Listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or any audio media you can listen to podcasts on. Make sure to rate us and leave us a review. And if you feel you want a little bit more, like a little bit more, like you want to do a little, you want to like support us a little, just a little bit more, like an inch, like a smidge, right? A little smidgy there. Go to smidgy. Go to patreon.com/From Under the Apron Podcast. Support us on the Patreon. Become a top tier patron and get patron privileges. And I will shout you out at the end of every episode. Kind of like Babel B, Menace Smiling, Stephanie M. Great supporters. Dark Fake Creations, who we all love and enjoy the smelling candles around here. Go to darkfakecreations.com. You will enjoy it. You will love it. Tell them we sent you at From Under the Apron. They love us. We love them. We love you guys. We went to high school together. We love you guys. Next up, Jolene, Miniature Dancer 51, Super Solid Kid Eclipse, John Decor, Unexpected Error Occurred, Seizure Queen, Purple Haze 94. Seizure Queen, happy birthday, by the way. I hear it's your birthday. Hope you have a wonderful birthday tonight, July 5th. Even though this is going to be posted on another day. But hey, happy birthday to Seizure Queen. Next up, Brenda Lamore, Zach W, Rowena, the Queen of Persia, OMG is Ren, Jay Wowzer, OG Just Peachy, Hydrangea Water, The Grunge Witch, Hannah Time, Messenger of Stupidity, This Girl 474, Tommy the Gun, Cherry Bomb, My Favorite DJ, DJ AA Ron, The Wee Daddy. Oh, we're coming up with Rabbit Orlando, Collector of All Things Sentimental, Mermaid Queen of the Seas, XX Panda XX19. I keep forgetting to put in the X's. Philly Millie, Brief Flash, Task Flash Hearts, Cloudy November from the No is a Sentence podcast. Hey, even though we don't have a trailer for No is a Sentence podcast, I still want to shout them out. Cloudy November from the No is a Sentence podcast. Go check out their podcast on Spotify. It is an amazing podcast. You guys will enjoy it. Turtle Boy Flores, Happy Chic Block, Hopeful Kid Weasel Eclipse, Silly Billy, Pepe Frito, Scott MG418, Celestial Moon Goddess, Dude 4, Sippy Hippie, Strawberry Chaotic, Woo Woo, Lady Dabigail, Full Heart Earth, Shot of Patron, hell yeah, Ozzy Screw, Sierra Censored, Cookie Monster Kalani, Be Nice 888, Ugly Hag on the Rag. I know we all love that name. Ugly Hag on the Rag. Thank you for having an awesome name. X Chaos Corey 420, K Bear 0111. Swifty Ever After. We're Swifty fans over here. Thank you for being a Swifty fan. Thank you for being a wrestling fan, Swifty fans. One Savage Daughter. Arbol Avril. What the fuck constantly? WTF constantly. Clickbait Candy Lush. Lust for Life. Who've been on the show before. Dying Weed. Boy Next Door. Atomic Princess Angel. Sensitive Angel. Five Rents Designs. Black Velma. Mermaid Kisses. Delicate Indecision. Art Goblin 666. Riley, read my lips. Thank you guys for supporting this podcast. Patreon.com/From Under the Apron Podcast. Get your name shout out. Support the podcast, brother. Check out the show notes for links to other podcasts and trailers that you heard on this episode. Send us a message of your favorite wrestling stories. Hell, it could even be wrestler imitation. I don't care anymore. Let's do that. Questions, comments, ratings, or requests at our email. It is FromUnderTheApron@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, joining the live, staying the gift, and being a huge part of this community. Tell your friends, brother. Join us next time for more stories, movies, and TV show reviews, as well as wrestling-related stories when we come to you from Under the Apron, brother. Yeah. And we're done, right, sir?
Yeah, we'll see you next time.